Morning and welcome to my presentation. Essentially, we are going through some evolution. So a lot has happened since Project Planet Blue first was thought about, and now we're known as Project Blue World. So what we are essentially trying to do is to try to maximize resources so that they become usable in all sorts of interesting ways. Now I'll just take you through the whole presentation very quickly. Now, interestingly enough, I'm not from the sustainable green or eco world. I don't manufacture stuff, but I have suddenly come upon this area because of my interest in using resources to the maximum. So whatever we are going to be talking about today is equally applicable to furniture design or landscaping or construction or just about anything where we need to maximize the use of resources. So let's get on to our first slide. I'm just trying to make sure that everything's okay here with the Wi-Fi. No. Okay, essentially the whole concept of Blue World is to make sure we squeeze every drop of our limited resources. Now, which means, one, not wasting anything, trying to use things to the full, being creative, trying to create something beautiful out of it, and making sure it's sustainable, that it can last. So, how do we get about doing these things? Okay, I'll just take you through a little example of the thinking that goes behind what I'm trying to tell everybody. Now, if you look at that slide there, you'll see sort of towards the right, you'll see pieces of wood that have been piled up and painted over. Now, what people would consider junk or something that they can't discard easily, and they just put it aside. This was in one of the old shop houses in Lebo Ampang in KL, a bit more than 100 years old, that was demolished. So some of the wood ended up being put by the side, and what I did was I saw what was there and I said, wow, pretty good stuff, this is really interesting. So I got a crane to remove those pieces of wood. It's about half a ton each, that single piece. So you can't carry it by hand, so I need to get a crane to do that. And transform that into gate posts and columns that are now in one of my projects in PJ. There are only 2 houses in Petaling Jaya with wooden gate posts, and both are my projects. So this is how we talk about reusing the earth's resources. This is something that was supposed to be thrown away. Instead of getting bricks and cement and making another new gate post that everybody else has, now 2 houses in PJ have something very unique to show. Now, in terms of strength, this wood is holding up a structure. It's holding up a flat roof, so it's still very strong after all those 100 years. So to discard it as junk would have been a pure waste. It's a supporting column, literally. We broke out the concrete columns and put in this wooden column. Now, the remaining pieces were made into furniture. This is the range of furniture that I've produced. It's under the Justin Santiago design brand name, and it's being sold on sites like dsyr.com. So that's the Saluna range of tables made out of this century-old wood. So again, we're trying to create something beautiful out of it, so this is where the creative part comes in. And then trying to squeeze every bit of material left, and goes on to other things. This is another table that I've created, also selling. It's called the U-Frame Classic. There's no table like this in existence anywhere in the world. It's amazing. It really looks nice because that material is so unique. So squeezing every bit, the last remaining pieces were made into a welcome mat. This is the welcome mat as you enter the house. So the pieces of wood were put into the gravel, and that's where it is now. And finally, whatever was left after that became wood for the barbecue. So you see, we try not to waste anything, try to get as much from these things as much as possible. If you look at the back of that, the barbecue pit is made out of roof tiles that were also meant for the garbage dump. So again, a lot of reuse over there. So basically what I'm trying to say is that we can actually take a lot of materials and transform that. Now, if there's anyone who can guess what this is, we'll offer a free consultation after this session. Can anyone guess what this item is? It's now a lampshade, or I don't know. It's a light fitting in the bathroom of one of the houses. But any guesses for what it was before that? Sorry? A mat. No, sorry. Any more?
You see part of a car?
Part of a car, you're getting close.
Yeah, the radiator, the fan or radiator or whatever is somewhere around there.
Getting close.
It looks like it.
Anyone else who wants to guess?
Air filter, the filter.
Correct. That's a lorry air filter. So this again was found lying on the side of the road. As I'm driving, I'm always on the lookout for things that are around and can be transformed. So the best part about this is that if you can find an object and know exactly what to transform it into, that's the challenge. So this one, when I saw this air filter thrown out, I said, I didn't even know what it was. Okay, so when I found it, I said, this looks really nice. It's going to make a really nice lampshade, and I'm going to grab it. So I took it, did a bit of spray painting, and installed it in the client's house. And it's really interesting, that piece. Okay, now what am I up against? It's a kind of culture here that does not have any respect for nature or old things, like this is a tree stump that was left over from a tree that was more than 100 years old in Kuala Kangsar. These trees surround an eating area in Kuala Kangsar, the one on the left. So when they cut it down, firstly they didn't even care that it was a tree that was more than 100 years old. Secondly, they didn't even care that the tree stump is now blocking the pavement, and I almost tripped over it. And thirdly, they didn't even utilize the trunk. The trunk could have been a nice table, if they had any sense to make something out of what damage they caused. So 3 out of 3 they failed, and the reason why they cut down all these 100-over-year-old trees was because there were too many birds sitting on the trees and it was upsetting the food court below. So for the sake of cleanliness of the food court, the trees were chopped down. It could have been made into a beautiful park. It could have become, you could have put a historical monument there. It could have become a tourist attraction. But now it's a place that sells mee goreng and chendol and whatever, amidst all these corpses of trees lying around. Secondly, we have the environment. I mean, now forget about the aesthetics. It's the environmental problem that's becoming really bad, because you're cutting down trees, you're denuding forests, and then when it rains cats and dogs in KL, and 1 hour later there's a flood and a traffic jam, everybody is complaining and asking why. There's a simple answer to it. There's just too much uncontrolled development happening around the place. There's also not enough laws to prevent this kind of behavior. In Singapore, there was an example of a house owner who chopped down 3 trees in his own house. There were, I don't know, 2 mango trees and another tree, and he was fined 6,000 Singapore dollars for chopping down trees in his own house. So this is how strict they are about trees in Singapore. Okay, and we don't have that same kind of enforcement here, unfortunately. So so this is what people like myself are up against. There's no way to prevent resources from being destroyed, from being removed, and it's quite tough. So we have to find all sorts of creative ways to go around this. And some people simply do not know how to transform those pieces of wood that were lying by the side of that chop house into something beautiful. So the easiest thing is to just throw it away. Now, this is where people like myself try to come in and assist. You may say that, hey, I mean, these things are simple, they can be done easily. Why is this guy coming to consult us? And I mean, surely this can be done fairly easily, but it's not. You require a certain sort of thinking and mentality that has been developed over a long period of time, and it has to seep into your everyday life. So, when I was growing up in Bangsa, we were the only house that had all these things like water harvesting, we had composting, and all this is in the 70s. All this before everything became fashionable. So food, things like food that was on the dining table, whatever was left over, we gave to the dog. Whatever the dog couldn't finish went into the compost bin, and the compost bin was used to make soil and was used to grow vegetables in the garden. So if you can imagine a bungalow in Bukit Bandaraya, Bangsa in 1978 doing all this, so you know where this thinking has come from all this while. And that has seeped into my life so much now that I don't like to waste anything. It comes to things like food. The only thing that I don't care much for is using both sides of the paper. I don't recycle the paper because I find it confusing when you use recycled paper and you've done work on one side, you know which side to follow. Hey, was that what I did? Which side is which? So apart from that, I pretty much do a lot of other things that help save the Earth's resources. So I'm just going to show you some of the things that I've done. A lot of these things were simply taken from people who didn't want them anymore. So I've got this interesting 6-leg table called Lipas. That's what the carpenter named it. So I took the name from him. And essentially, the materials that I used are 40 to 50 years old, the wood. It's got a nice grain to it, it's sturdy. It has certain quality that you can't find in new wood. And I just put a glass frame on it, and I made a table out of it. Yeah, I call this the wind desk. This desk is made out of 4 windows. It's actually serves as an office cubicle. So instead of having those standard cubicles, you now have a very interesting looking wooden cubicle with tinted glass all around. And what I found interesting with this was that it allowed you to expand your mind and focus at the same time, because you're looking up through that window, but at the same time you've got a frame around it. So this table, I made one for myself, and I made one for the clients, 2 for the clients, and I thought it was so beautiful I made one for myself. And a lot of work has been produced using this table. So just wanted to show you what can be done out of windows, windows becoming a desk. And it extends beyond furniture. We've gone into things like saving plants and doing landscaping with these materials. I created a garden made entirely out of discarded plants. This is part of the garden. every single one of those plants were thrown away. Those were railway sleepers, and the gravel you find that was left over from construction site. So using this different media, we put it together and we create landscapes out of it. So you're not only saving the earth, you're also saving life. So I treat these plants as babies or children, you know. And it really pains my heart to see a plant thrown out, a fully living plant that was thrown out and it's lying dying by the side of the road. So what I do is I just stop my car, pull up and try to save that plant. I'm thinking of setting up a society called the Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Trees, like the SPCA, but this is called SPCT, because they are living things, you know, they are life forms, and it's again how we think about them. If a plant to us is simply something to just be there to decorate a corner, then I think you've got the wrong idea. It's more than that. It's a living thing. It's got a heart and it's got a soul. So these trees and plants are really something that helps our environment and the earth as well. So we also go into the realm of rocks. The stones that you see along the edge of the driveway was from a landslide. So a landslide that happened in Bukit Pantai. The stones were really interesting. They've got a really nice yellow color and they've got little patterns on it. So again, that goes into the car, and it's taken to the site. So that's what I did with the landslide. So ordinarily, a bulldozer would come in, take off all the stones, dump it in a dumpster, and go to a landfill somewhere. It's gone, you know. So what I'm trying to do is extending the life of some of these things that have value. The value is that it must be able to produce something beautiful. If you're just recycling it for the sake of recycling it and it looks hideous, it's probably not going to last very long. People are not going to buy into it. But here the clients are buying into it because they've got the most unique driveway in the entire street. Right? So you've got to give them that sort of uniqueness and that sort of identity and something to be proud of and something they can tell people about. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is going beyond houses, things that I'm doing for individual clients, because they get to enjoy that enclosed space. Their gardens now look great. They are saving the world. Their houses, people talk about it, appears in the papers, blah blah blah, but only they get to enjoy it. There's one house in PJ where only the old lady gets to enjoy it. But what about the rest of us? I wanted to expand this beyond just individual clients. That's why I created this code word called Project Blue World. I don't know where it's going to lead to next, but I'm just hoping that we can start with maybe Malaysia, making Malaysia beautiful. And I wanted, the reason why I'm here is to look out for partners who want to make that extra effort into taking recycled, materials that people would normally throw away, would normally discard, and turning it into something that makes the place just look awesome, I was just amazed that as I was driving up today here, even places around KLCC is supposedly one of the premier areas in KL, and this was around this convention center where John Kerry just came and visited us 2 days ago, and you can still see little pockets looking so messy, and untidy. Corners of the pavement and so on. I mean, these could be transformed so easily, and at very little cost. And I don't know why we don't do it, because we are so blessed with rain and sunshine. Plants grow abundantly here. We could very easily do it. So I'm hoping that people will realize that It does not take much. You need the thinking, you need the mindset to be able to say, look, I can make something beautiful out of something ugly. I can make something that will help the planet. I can make something that would be sustainable over the long term. These are snapshots of KL. These are the Pekeliling flats. If you are familiar with this area of town, it's along Jalan Tun Razak. All the residents have been cleared out and the place is going to be ready for demolishing. Now, I was just thinking, where are all those hundreds of doors and windows going to go? These flats were built in the 60s, so the wood is going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty awesome material. It's going to be much better than what you get at the lumberyard today. There's going to be a whole lot of rubble. Where is that going to land up? Can it be used to make something beautiful? All that is going to go, and I just keep driving past one day and I just say, can someone help me to find a partner to connect so that I can grab hold of all these things and make something out of it. So I'm just hoping that sessions like this will link me up to the right people. You know, we have a river running through the city and look what we do to it. It's become an open drain almost. While other cities like Monaco and Venice have transformed their waterways, this is what we have done. And how can we change this? How can we utilize some resources to turn this around? Yeah, finally things like this. This is some fancy pavements, a lot of money spent to beautify the pavement, and the tree is no more there. Again, the tree is probably 50 years old. I don't know what went into the mind of the person who decided to cut it down. But it's not the only one. There are several along the same road that face the same problem. So how can we start with Malaysia? How can we start making Malaysia beautiful? What needs to be done? Who can we partner with to get this, to make this happening? Some of the credentials, just to show you what I've done and what projects I've been involved with. This is one of the houses that was in PJ that has been, transformed from that little picture there to that now. Some of the other articles that have appeared in Star Property, and my role as a judge at this year's Anugerah Hijau. So we've come some way towards telling people about it, but we need to go beyond. We need to have some projects in a public space. And I'd like to work, are these the environmental students here? Or you work in architecture? Or architecture, great. So, if I can work with people like yourselves and create something different, I'd be more than happy to send me your questions. My mobile number is there. You're going to take a snapshot of this and contact me, or we can speak about it later, fine. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, are there any questions from the audience? Yes?
I have a few questions.
Sure.
Should I use the mic? Or can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Maybe I'll repeat your question after you've said it. Or
The first one, the one about the window with the table across. The window where you open it and then you have that table on top, the red one, the window. Yeah, you said that it was good to get right and see outside.
oh, this one. This is this one, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that window always kept open, or is that table only there when the window is open?
Oh, no.
How does it work?
This is a standalone item. It's a piece of furniture now. The windows
Stuck just like that, near the window.
No, the windows have been removed, and you can bring it here. It's a table. It's a desk made out of windows.
Oh, I see. It's not like a window where you put the board there and when you open the window. You
No.
No.
We are
just
not.
something like that.
We are not that high tech. I don't believe in high technology. This is all very simple technology.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because it looked like, you can just like, like the sofa bed where you just...
Oh, no.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Hardly. I'm hardly mechanical at all, so I don't get into very complicated mechanical things. And I feel that the easier the transformation process, the better it is.
So you see glass on the side?
Yeah, it's like a,
glass on the side.
Yeah, the glass, what that window was a window for a house before, and 30 windows were removed, and I paid some money for it. I got all the 30 windows, and then I was thinking about it. How can I turn this window into something? So now we've made it into a cubicle.
Oh, I see. I would have been better if you can fold it and just like open the window and you have the thing there.
Oh, I have it at the desk. Okay, no. Like I said, I don't want to get into the too much high technology and make it complicated. There must be very little energy spent in taking something and making it into another thing.
Maybe you can get a partner to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
Another thing,
yes.
You were looking for a partner, to improve on how the city looks like.
Yes.
You could combine with Dewan Bandaraya. I think they have a landscaping unit which also work on their own.
But how can I communicate the landscape unit which cuts down all the trees?
No. They can't chop the tree because they don't know about the beauty of it. So you are there to tell them.
No, but this is the
how
thing.
You work together.
If I'm speaking to somebody who doesn't know the beauty of these things, I don't think we're going to get very far.
No. It's educating them to see the beauty of things. No, the people who don't appreciate trees, they look at trees. Oh, the word is what? No, semak, jungle. So I have that problem also. They can't appreciate anything that doesn't look like what they think is beautiful.
Right. See,
so,
you gotta treat a tree like a living thing, and that's the only. I don't see any way around it. You're killing a living thing. And the older the tree is, the bigger the crime, because that tree took 100 years to get where it was. And if you think of killing a 100-year-old man, it should be on the same level, almost.
I think that's the thinking these days. Get rid of the old.
But in terms of, I think trees are even better than humans, because the older they get, the more majestic and beautiful they don't. Mature trees are amazing, man.
But I still believe, if you work hand in hand with them,
Sure.
you will open their eyes wider and see something else.
Yeah.
It's a mindset and outlook. If you can change it with time, not immediately, of course.
Right.
You can give them some training lessons. You just volunteer. That's what you do to get them started. And then you have a group. You teach them this can look this way and that way, and then so that they change fixed mindset.
Sure.
Because most of them are working, but they didn't have a background training. So
Sure. But they're landscape people, right? They have gone through.
the landscape, because they just belong there. Maybe the boss knows, but not the others. If they don't train everybody, maybe, or they don't appreciate it. When people work, they work. They don't do business where you appreciate your work.
I must admit, I haven't gone and seen them personally, but
Yes.
maybe I must make an
I
attempt.
think we can tell you solve some problem.
Yeah.
And the third one is, where did you get this mindset from? Are you trained officially, or it just came from your links with your father, your creative father?
Yeah, my dad is a botanist, and an exceptional botanist. He passed away 3 months ago.
3 months ago. You see Anthony Santiago?
That's right.
That's the one. Because long ago he was the icon of, as you say, botany and all things like that.
Yes.
Where they grew charcoal in the pot and all that. Everybody knows about him. Oh, he is your father.
That's right,
I see, what a coincidence.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's the thinking has developed over many years. It doesn't come all of a sudden. You have to practice it at home. You got to hey, don't waste the water. Use the water from the container there that was that held the rain. We have all this. We do all these things at home. If you try to open the hose without looking at the water container which contains the rainwater, then you're in trouble. Or if you throw out, this was one of the biggest sins in the house. If you throw out he called it, when we were very 5, 6 years old, we knew what was inorganic, organic, Say, the inorganic waste goes into that container and the organic waste goes into this container. And if you put the organic waste in the inorganic container, you're dead, man. You're going to have to take it out and with your hands and put it in the right container. So these kinds of things sort of stick in you, and make you sensitive to all these things. So it's a way of thinking that has been developed. I don't know whether I'll be able to transfer that thinking, but hopefully it clicks. Hopefully it clicks.
Should work the same way.
Yeah.
Like the way you tell your father, you tell everybody else.
Yeah, and like yesterday, I brought back some fruit. I was at a convention yesterday, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. We are consultants for them. Nothing to do with environment or sustainability. It's what I do as my day job. I took back some food to eat in the hotel room. And whatever was left over, I took it back to the convention center to eat later on in the evening. So it's come to that extent, where I don't want to waste unnecessarily. Yeah, there's plenty of food in the convention center. I can go and help myself to all the VIP buffet upstairs because we are working with the organizers, but I'll say that little bit of food is going to be thrown away if I don't finish it. It's going to be wasted. That's another resource wasted today. So I have a choice. I can take it back or I can throw it away. So I'm forced to take it back. There's no option for me. Yeah. But like I said, the double-sided paper I don't do. I only write on one side of the paper.
Hi, Mr. Santiago. I have two questions for you.
Sure.
The first question is, where do you get your materials? Or how do you get your materials?
Okay.
And the second one is, what is the market like for your products?
I'm so lucky to be in Malaysia because they throw away everything. You just go around any skip, the skip that are outside construction areas, you'll find something there of value, definitely. People now call me and say there's this big, huge thing they're demolishing. Go and check it out, they might have something for you. You're just driving along the road, you see what happened was in Damansara, they had cut down this huge big tree. And the tree had all these ferns growing on the branches and the trunk, I couldn't save the tree, but at least I saved one of the branches that had the ferns. And that's growing in my garden right now. So that branch and the ferns are all healthy and living till today.
So you go personally to go take all the
material? But that particular project, that's as high tech as I go, getting the crane guys to carry the piece of wood. So that was something that I observed that was lying there, and I said I need to get hold of that.
Are you just allowed to take it in Malaysia? Like you just pick up things? Like in Austria, you would not be allowed to just get a crane and pick things up?
Oh no, of course I had to pay some money to the people who are looking after the place, and I said, look, I'm going to offer you some money, I'm going to take all this, when can I come? So I don't steal. That's what you're trying to say, no? No, it's all with permission. I just need to go out and spot the right items that I can, and I must have something in mind when I look at it, because otherwise even that becomes wasted. Because if I pick something up that I don't have any use for, I'm going to throw it away. So I'm committing something committing a sin that I'm trying to prevent. So no point. I must have something in mind when I pick something up like that. And the second question is,
what is your market like for your products?
Okay, it's all very individualized. It's all very niche group right now. So the market would be clients who want to customize their houses according to the designs that I show them, and the designs are all based on recycled materials. And a very small segment of people appreciate this. Most of them say, "Oh, we can't use." Okay, one of the good ones that I've heard is, it's not bad luck. Cannot use. Someone has used it before. When you buy a new apartment, you take out all the bathroom tiles, right? Or bathroom toilet, everything goes out. All bad luck. Where the guy sat down before, I can't sit. So I have to deal with that sort of So that eliminates a large part of the clientele. So those clients who do not, who have the right idea about luck and so on are probably going to get into this. And those who appreciate beauty, it's the products that I produce have to be of exceptional quality and beauty. There's no two ways about it. So when they look at it, they say, "Wow, I want this." It has to have that kind of effect. This table looks like the Enterprise from Star Trek. So and you won't get it anywhere else. It's being sold on dsyr.com. These kinds of items have that element in it. So it's for people who can appreciate such things. The environmental consciousness of people is a bit low now. You can't tell them, oh, this recycle, this will help green the earth. That's a difficult sell. So you got to go on beauty, and pricing is equivalent. Most of the items are of equivalent pricing. So you want to go to IKEA and get a coffee table, it's about the same price. The same size, and so the higher end IKEA items would cost the same.
I just want to contribute regarding the usage of papers on both sides, but I do that too, no? So the thing is, you have to be careful of what you use when you use both sides. Say for rough calculations, for rough work, even to draft something, yes, use both sides. You then throw it away conveniently after that. But not your important items where you list things up, then you complicate matters as you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just use for like rubbishy work.
But I think it's genetic, because my son also follows the same rule.
Oh,
he only writes on one side of the paper. He doesn't write on both sides.
Oh, maybe
he's 6 years old, by the way.
Maybe he's a new generation who thought that you have to use only one side.
When you actually do recycle some of these wood materials and all that, is it actually a long process that you actually have to go through in order to restore all these the woods? And the process itself, does that actually use up a lot of chemicals and things like that? Because you're talking about going greens and trying to use as much natural materials as possible. But as far as I'm concerned, sometimes if you actually do source for these products, a lot of it is actually it's in a dilapidated conditions, and it's actually very hard for you to restore those things. So do you find it a challenge actually to actually bring it back into something that's new?
Okay, I'll answer your question on several. I think you mentioned several points there. Yeah. Okay, I'm quite lazy when it comes to treating the materials. So I don't like to spend too much time and energy and effort preparing, transforming from A to B. I once went to one of these kinds of exhibitions where there's a tile manufacturer who takes all the old tiles and crushes it to powder and makes new tiles out of the powdered tiles. Oh, I can't imagine what goes through. I mean, the people in the factory who are doing this kind of work must be suffering like hell, man.
Yeah, I mean,
so what I would do is, like, if I were to look at some tiles, I'll try to say, how can we take this and make something beautiful out of it? It could, and when you say dilapidated, you can look at it both ways, So if you put a dilapidated piece, a window frame, into a very sleek, smooth, gleaming finish, the contrast is beautiful. So you enhance the dilapidated piece of wooden frame, and you enhance the smooth, shiny surface surrounding it. So everything has its value. It's just as how you can creatively look at it and how to blend it with other things. I mean, this thing was dilapidated by the side there, once upon a time. Now you can see the corners, that have been so meticulously cut by the side 100 years ago by someone sitting down with a chisel, probably.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of hard work.
So the hard work has already been done. What I'm saying is, people have spent time and effort. They've chopped the tree, they've transported the tree, they've gone to the lumberyard, they've chiseled out the edges. Everything has been done. All you got to do now is transport it, scrape off all the dirt, and put a coat of solar screen. Now the technology is wonderful. You got all these things that can do wonders, and it's there. It's done. So yeah, I don't spend too much time, and I like the dilapidated stuff. Actually, they can actually do a lot of things for you. I've got tons of other things that I've done that I didn't have time enough to show today. You know the louvered windows? Everybody throws out the louvered windows for those aluminium windows.
The old one, yeah.
All the louvered windows. Yeah, I've done one of the bathroom walls for the client using those louvered windows. So the louvered windows now become tiles. Put cement at the back and put it on the wall. Beautiful. You got a glass wall, you know, in your bathroom. And because the cement sticks differently behind the piece of glass, after a while you can see patterns. It's like batik, you know. So you got a batik glass wall in your bathroom. I mean, and you're paying the same price for a tiled wall. So I let the clients, you choose, which one do you want? I've also got a kitchen island made of louvered windows as well. Beautiful. Because the kitchen tabletop is all so shiny and smooth, the wall is shiny and smooth, then you have these louvered windows put on as tiles, and with the cement at the back and the rustic look. Amazing.
One question, I was wondering how sustainable is your program? Does it give you a lot of income, you know, without too much effort?
Right now it's a very serious hobby.
It's a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So I have my team of contractors and carpenters who have been working with me for the past. This year I hired them and told them to work solely for me, but it is sustainable. It's a hobby that
You
can
have
bring
another
something.
job. This is like
Yeah.
sideline on that. Okay, I thought you were living on this. Sounded.
Well, I plan to live on this very soon, because I'm just looking for the right branding and marketing guy, and I need a good sales guy, and I need a good government liaison guy. So there are 3 job vacancies waiting. Yeah. But more importantly, I don't want to change the world. I want pockets of people to come up and try and get on board this one. Let's try to make Malaysia beautiful first.
Why blue world and not green world? It's quite green. I mean, you're recycling and all those things.
It's overused, this green. Like I said, it's been going through some evolution. It's called Blue Planet before, then now I'm at Blue World stage. So because I'm now only just beginning to open it up to bigger causes than just my individual clients. I want to look at communities and public spaces. So yeah, I wanted to start with public spaces. I have made an attempt with people like MBPJ to try and transform certain areas. You know that area on top of Bukit Gasing? Does anybody know Bukit Gasing at all?
What is everybody controversial?
That's-
condominium building.
Yeah, it's known for all the wrong reasons. It's the most beautiful lookout point in Petaling Jaya, and unfortunately it's a garbage dump today. And I actually put in a proposal that would change that area, put in a nice cafe. You could make out there. And that was a PJ's famous makeout point 25 years ago. That's how I came to know about it. And today it's a garbage dump. It's very sad because and they really didn't understand what I was talking about. They had no clue. I thought, wow, PKR government, way to go. We're going to do some fantastic things. Same old story.
Perhaps you should speak to Derek Fernandez. He's the one who did the thing on that hill.
Oh yeah,
Derek Fernandez, the lawyer in the council.
I gave him one of my projects, which was a bag made of a recycled bag made out of those banners that keep falling on lampposts. You know, they hang it on the lamppost.
After the election, is it?
No, no,
normal one.
no. It's all those ubat jantan and increase your libido kind of things, and all sorts of other plastic banners that are hung on the lamppost. When they fall out, they just litter the road. So I made bags out of those, and it's really tough material. It's a really good bag, and I gave a bag to him and said, "Let's do this project." I never heard from him after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you should approach him again. Maybe now he's a better mood.
So, it's, I think like in most things in Malaysia, if you've got something good to offer and you've got a great idea, I think it's best to work privately with people. The best things in Malaysia have all been created by the people themselves. Mee curry, Chinese schools, motor workshops. These things have been created by pockets of people who decided, I'm going to just do it, man. And so I think I'm looking for those pockets of people who can help start up something like this.
I'd just like to comment that I
Yeah.
find it quite inspiring that you're doing this as a personal hobby.
Sure.
Because my daughter, she studied environmental sustainability in Canada, and she's always, interested in talks such as what you're giving. And it's also in TED Talks, there's something by a person by the name of Majora, how she changed the environment in the South Bronx, where South Bronx is sort of the area of New York where people would put all their garbage. And it's remarkable what she's been able to accomplish. She's a winner of the MacArthur Award, and I highly recommend anyone who's interested in the changes that can take place to just look for the TED Talk, look for the word Majora. And it's very, Majora. It's a talk that she gave in 2006, and just Google that, search that. It's very, very inspiring what you can do.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Justin San Diego, for this presentation on Project Blue World.
Thank you so much.